Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have a special guest on the line. She's running for the mayor of New York City, Joycelyn Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're from the Pig Houses in Brooklyn.
Yes, Pink Houses, East New York.
The greatest tourist attraction in all of New York City.
Yes, definitely.
So now what makes you want to run for mayor of New York City?
I decided to run for mayor of New York because I'm tired. I'm tired of us talking about the same things over and over again and not seeing different results. Everything that we witness in this city, state, and country is not happening by osmosis. It's all based upon laws, policies, and procedures that have been implemented by everyday men and women. And if it's not working, we have to change it. And that's what we need. We need elected officials and leadership that are going to step up to the plate and actually create changes for people.
Now, what do you think about Bill de Blasio, our current mayor, and how he's been doing, and what things would you do differently?
Well, I'm a little disappointed in his second term because I figure, your second term, you're not going up for re-election. You can go hard, right? You have nothing to lose. But I think what I would have done differently is that I think the city needs to be more proactive. We should have had a plan as it relates to what would happen in a pandemic. We shouldn't be figuring this out as we go along. We need to have continuity plans based by community so that people, even when little things happen, like when we have a blackout, where will people go if they needed ice, if they need water, if they need a cooling station? This should be information that people should have readily available. So if I was mayor, my goal as mayor is to be more proactive and not reactive. Even when I look at the school and the remote learning, students, teachers, nor parents know what remote learning is supposed to look like. We've never did any formal training for that. It's 2020 and kids don't have technology. Those are the things that just can't happen in this day and time.
That's real. I'm looking at this NYC mayor race, and it's shaping up to look like the Democratic presidential primaries. There's going to be a lot of challenges, going to be on that stage. What's going to make you stand up?
Well, what differentiates me is that I am a New Yorker. I'm just like everyone else. Right? And I have a lived experience from being just like everyone else in this city. There's a difference. If you're a CEO of a company, it's easy to be a CEO of a company and be successful because you have billions of dollars at your disposal. You have all the human resources that you need to actually get things done. But try being a single mom in this city working 6 days a week and 12 hours a day while taking care of kids and your mom and going to school. Those are the people that we should be impressed with because those are the people that are solution-based and they know how to get things done, even without the resources that they need. They figure out a way. And we see New Yorkers doing that every day right now in this pandemic. We have so many advocates and nonprofits that are stepping up to the plate and doing what they need to do. And that's who I am.
Now, what got you to this point? Because you have no career in politics. Politics wasn't your thing. This is something that you just felt in your heart. So what got you to this point where you're saying, enough of the bullish, I want to run for mayor?
I started a nonprofit organization, the MWBE Alliance. And my goal in starting the alliance, because when I started my business, I didn't realize that the city spends $22 billion in the procurement of goods and services. That 30% of that is supposed to be spent with minority and women-owned businesses. So, and it's not happening. At the time, I think it was about 2%. And my thought was that people must just not know about this. Mm-hmm. I started the organization to bring awareness to the opportunity because I understand how that would impact the Black and Brown communities. But as I went along and I met with various elected officials, I started to hear the same rhetoric over and over again and no solutions. When I meet with them, I come with the issue, the solution, and the value add. And still nothing happens. And it can't be that difficult to create change. So I got tired of just talking about it. I want to get things done.
Gotcha.
Joycelyn, I agree with you so much. And I always talk about the MWBE certification and how people do need to know about that, because I did get my certification also. And there are people and companies who've been made rich just from being able to get these contracts with the city. And we're supposed to have our hand in that also. But a lot of times we don't know about these opportunities. A lot of times it'll be a white woman who's married to a white man who owns a business, and then she gets that business because it's minority and women-owned businesses. So that is definitely something that, regardless of the outcome of this, we definitely need to speak on more.
Yeah, and we need to get that information out there, because we have to ensure that the diversity of the dollars going into the pot match how those dollars are spent. Because if not, we're just modern day sharecroppers. We're continuing to pay into a system that continues to build wealth and legacy for other people while our communities continue to suffer.
You know, you're running a grassroots campaign too. You're not taking no money from PACs or corporations or developers or lobbyists. What is the significance of running a grassroots campaign?
And I'm probably the only true grassroots people-powered campaign that's out there right now. And the significance of that is that you are able to come into this campaign, much like Shirley Chisholm said, unbought and unbossed. Because at this moment, I'm not beholden to anyone. I'm beholden to the people, and that's who I want to be beholden to. Because the people are investing in the city every day. It's time for them to start seeing a return on that investment.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Madam Mayor. If a domestic incident, you know, like the storming of the Capitol building took place in New York, how would you respond?
Well, listen, we have to respond harshly and swiftly. You know, first of all, you know, that's something that shouldn't happen. Like what happened at the Capitol is crazy to so many of us, right? But we have to make sure people are held accountable, and especially people in elected offices. So I would hold elected officials accountable. I would hold police officers accountable, because when I was watching that on CNN, I saw some people with some woke NYPD hats on.
Word.
So I'm taking attendance. Where were you the day this happened? Did you fall out sick? We need to investigate and hold people accountable, because that wasn't a protest. That wasn't a peaceful protest about people being wronged. We held a fair election. It wasn't a peaceful protest. So if you participated in that, you need to be held accountable.
Now, just more immediately, what are some things that can be done? I know housing is really high up on the top of your list of priorities. You did grow up in NYCHA, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I just joined the board for the fund for NYCHA too. And so what are some things that you feel like need to happen as far as housing in New York City? Because it has been a huge issue, and now with the pandemic, things aren't getting any better. So what are some immediate solutions?
Well, the most immediate solution is to reinvest in public housing. We have to reinvest, and we have to ensure that these residents get their basic needs met. But as a long-term solution, we also should be looking at ownership opportunities for these residents, because the reality of the situation is the new city right now is the worst landlord and worst employer that there is. And that's not acceptable. We shouldn't see people on the news with umbrellas in their bathroom when they have to go to the bathroom.
Right.
We see every day that people know how to manage housing. You don't ever see people in other communities having to call Monica Morales. But, you know, we've been comfortable with ignoring 600,000 residents in this city, and that's just not okay.
Now,
Why do people got to go to the bathroom with umbrellas?
Because they have leaks
Because
in their
the bathroom is in such deplorable conditions that the water is coming down from the apartment above them. That was a recent story that Monica did. So he has to have an umbrella in the bathroom.
Wow.
I was going to ask, what are your thoughts on a lot of the violence that we've been seeing in the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, actually, in New York City? And also, what are your thoughts on defunding the police?
You know, it's always interesting to me that as soon as we talk about cash bail, we talk about defunding the police, suddenly the statistics change, right? That's an interesting prospect to me. But, you know, one of the things that we need to do is that we need to defund the police, because we should reallocate funds in a proactive manner. And I say that it's not just, you know, developing community programs to help people. You have to give people real results. If you go to a program and at the end of the program, you don't have a job, you don't have a skill, you don't have something that's really going to change and impact your life, what are you going to do? you're going to go back to what it is you were doing before. There's a reason why people in certain communities are doing certain things. They have no hope. They have no purpose.
That's right.
A lot of people are doing things because they have to do things to be able to support their families. But, you know, as it relates to the crimes and the shootings, we also have to ask ourselves, where's everybody getting all of these guns? But, you know, the police department definitely needs to be defunded. We need to reallocate those funds and create programs and results and opportunities for people in these communities.
Yeah.
You know who isn't out committing crimes? Someone who has to get up in the morning and go to work.
That's right. You know, I love, you know, the conversation about defunding the police and reallocating some of those resources. And, you know, another platform that you stand on, which is something near and dear to my heart, is mental health. And you want to provide a holistic approach to addressing mental health issues. How can you do that from a political standpoint?
Well, you know, I always say that you got to look on return on investment. What is the result that you want to see? If you're investing in policing, then you're saying you want to see people get locked up, right? Because you want to see the value from what you invested in. If you want to help people in mental health, we have to have more of an investment in it. And we have to have conversation and inclusion with the people who are impacted by these issues. You know, more investment in mental health issues will help people. You know, there are a lot of people in the streets that have mental issues. We need to provide them with housing. We need to make sure that they not just have housing, but they have the resources within that housing to help them, be it medication, be it job opportunities, be it whatever it is that they need so that they can be made whole.
That's real.
Now, Joycelyn, for people who want to know more information on you personally, and I know you're an entrepreneur, but can you let people know what your background is also?
Well, I'm a mom. I am also a business owner. I own an MWBE certified firm as well. General contracting firm. Has been in business for 7 years. I have a master's from Long Island University. So not only did I live in Brooklyn all my life, I went to school here, very dedicated to this borough and this city. And I'm an advocate for people. I'm an advocate for, you know, calling out what isn't working and us working together to create solutions and create change.
All right.
Well, we appreciate you for calling in.
And we'll be checking in with you as this race continues.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I just want to let people know that I have a huge deadline that's coming up. If you support this campaign, I ask that you go to my website at taylor42021.com, make a donation, support. We have to support people who are going to create the changes that we want to see. And as a grassroots candidate, I am that person. I thank you guys so much for having me on.
Thank you so much. And good luck.
All right. Thank you.